Are there specific guidelines to follow? We're talking about wholesale real estate for people in the UK. Are there specific guidelines that you have to follow? All right, so are there specific guidelines to follow if you're trying to wholesale United States real estate from the UK? Let me be clear. I know I have a few videos out there describing what real estate wholesaling is like and the whole point of it, right? When it comes to trying to make money in United States real estate from anywhere in the world, honestly, okay? And the first thing that most people wonder is this even possible? Yes, it is possible. You can wholesale real estate from anywhere in the world as long as you have a decent internet and you have yes, you need a little bit of decent internet and a laptop, and you have basic computer skills, meaning you can copy paste. You can absolutely do this because honestly, even those of us that live in the United States, we operate virtually remotely most of the time. Okay, 15 years ago when I started back in the days, I had to drive, dress up in the morning, go to appointments and all that kind of stuff. But those days are over. You can absolutely outsource that part of the business or leave it in the hands of real estate agents. Let them do what they're designed for, which is to represent the interest of sellers and buyers, right? And to do the legwork, showing people houses and stuff like that. They will happily, in exchange for 3% commission, they will happily do that. You just focus on what you're good at as a real estate wholesaling professional, which is marketing. Okay, lead generation is basically what you're getting paid for. You generate leads for the rest of the industry. Okay, these people are supposed to be worshiping you. Okay, that's what you do. So because you're not representing the interest, let me actually see if I can show you. This was an actual question from let's see, this is an actual question from a person. Okay, and I want to make sure that maybe I can grab that comment verbatim. It's easier that way. That way I make sure I answer the question. Let's see. All right, great. All right, cool. I have it. All right, so I have this question here. Let me see if I can show my screen really quickly. All right, good. So you can see that question right there. So the person asked, are there specific guidelines to follow in the UK and the states I intend to wholesale? All right, so yes, there are some states that you probably should avoid. In fact, in the next few videos, I'm going to talk about that. But it's not more so of avoiding it. It's just that you have to, there's a way you have to move, right? Like I said, it will never be illegal to generate leads for the real estate industry. It will never be illegal to set up systems to generate leads for the real estate industry. What can become illegal is when you are representing the interest of buyers or sellers. Basically, you're claiming that you're protecting their interest. You cannot do that if you have what we call equitable interest in the property, which is what you get when you sign a purchase contract, which is what we flip, right, in wholesaling, right? So when you are doing that, meaning you have a stake, invested interest in the profit that comes from the property, that's what you call conflict of interest, right? You cannot represent the seller and at the same time be willing to share their profit. Okay, you got to choose one. Okay, if you want to represent their interest, the states make it legal to do that as long as you're licensed by the board of whatever is in that state. They make that legal, and you get paid a certain type of commissions. And there are code of conduct ethics that you have to follow. You have to be members of certain board and things like that. Okay, and you have to be under a broker for the most part. I think all of the above. Actually, you have to be under a broker if you're not a broker yourself, right? So now, even if you're a broker yourself, if you don't open a store, you have to be under a broker. They call them associate broker, where you are licensed as a broker, but you decided that you don't want to open a real estate store. You still have to be under somebody with an actual open store into the public, right? So now, with that being said, those are the people that have guidelines that they have to follow If you're just doing this purely for profit, meaning you're generating leads for the industry and you're locking properties under contract to flip that contract, not the house, to flip the contract, then there's no specific guidelines outside of don't cheat, don't steal, don't lie. Okay, you should not be actively trying to rob somebody of their own money, right? Outside of that, there's no real code, because again, all you're doing is generating interest. I call them leads, right? You're generating interest of people who need to get rid of their house, right? And then you negotiate what price based on market condition and based on what they agree on. And then you locked it up under contract. That's equitable interest. And then you take the rights of that contract, you sell it, you assign it to somebody else for a fee. You're never representing their interest. If you keep it simple that way, that means also you have to try not to go to the properties to be showing houses and acting like an agent, because once you start doing that, you're saying you're an agent and you may get in trouble in certain states. Okay, so that's why I always advise people to have an agent on the team, or you be licensed by yourself. That way you can at least make sure you're doing that legally. But outside of this, again, all of these problems you wouldn't have if you're trying to wholesale United States real estate houses in the UK. You're strictly generating leads and you're processing the leads. You're a marketer, you're a marketer, you're in marketing. Okay, and it's as simple as that. You data, contact, generate leads, right? The contract, and then you let an agent worry about the fifth stage, which is deal disposition and things like that. Work with an agent, a local agent, and split profit with them. Give them commission, and you can do this all day long. And everyone is just one phone call away, one email away, and it's extremely simple and easier for you to operate from that standpoint. Okay, it's extremely easier for you to operate like that. Now, if you think you have to show up to a house to see a house before you're complicating wholesaling. We're talking about wholesaling right now, okay? By the way, if you're flipping a house, you will need to do that, right? If you're the one that's actually going to fix up a house and flip it, I do suggest that you visit the house and make sure you are seeing what you are buying, okay? But if all you're doing is generating leads for the industry, you want to take a quick $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, potentially up to $82,000, because that's my experience, right? If that's what you want to do, then it's extremely simple. All right, it's extremely simple. Keep it strictly marketing, generating leads, and let the agents and people on ground worry about the last stage